Infidelity adversely affects romantic relationships, some to the point of termination. The lifetime prevalence of infidelity ranges between 20% and 52%, with this prevalence being based on how a study defines infidelity, that is, whether infidelity includes emotions or just sex, or behaviors such as consuming pornography and flirting. The emergence of technology, especially the accessibility of mobile phones, social media, and dating sites, has provided a new cheating front, which includes paying for live webcam porn, sending explicit images, and sexting. The possible definitions of cheating imply that there are variations in who defines what is what. Infidelity not only affects the couples in the relationship, but also children, the extended family, and friends. An individual who learns of their partner's infidelity could respond in a number of ways, including emotionally draining recriminations, tit-for-tat infidelities, physical abuse, the withholding of couple services, for example, sex, companionship, monetary support, and even divorce. Marital quality significantly determines whether individuals cheat or not. Particularly, an unrewarding marriage implies less to lose for a partner who cheats, which therefore raises the risk of infidelity. Some partners actively pursue extra-pair partners to force the other one to terminate the relationship, often referred to as out-the-door affair. The whole cheating process is broken down into a series of small decisions that culminate into cheating. For example, a person may have a drink or a lunch with another of the opposite sex, start hanging out with them regularly, begin having intimate conversations, start revealing marital problems, and finally open up about feelings for the other person. All these steps are often accompanied by some serious thought processes, especially those that justify, minimize, or rationalize the whole interaction with the other person. Rarely do people just wake up and have extramarital sex, since it is a culmination of a series of events. Some people try to avoid their extra-pair partners as an approach to combating the developing feelings. However, any attempts to suppress the feelings may result in making them strongest, evidenced by studies supporting the fact that cognitive coping strategies often produce unintended outcomes. The strategy that has proven to actually be more effective has been strengthening the primary relationship. Spousal approach factors are kind of twisted. They say there's no excuse for cheating and the victim could not be accused. But there are instances of collusion where a spouse knows that their partner is cheating or is planning to, and they keep quiet or calm about it. The collusion aspect of keeping calm knowing that a spouse is cheating aims at reducing a partner's demands in the union, either sexually or emotionally, avoiding conflict that they could be uncomfortable with, and avoiding antagonizing their partner, especially when they don't have sufficient evidence. Shifts in the experiences associated with marital issues is highly dependent on the kind of extra-pair relationship it is. Infidelity where no emotions are involved evolves quickly, as in the case of men who primarily cheat sexually, while it is gradual for those with feelings, as in the case of women who primarily cheat emotionally. Predisposing factors exist before the occurrence of infidelity, which could be looked at as the factors that set the stage. Some of the most common involved partner predisposing factors such as gender, age, ethnicity, and family history are perceived as risk factors for engaging in infidelity. Particularly, one of the most common risk factor of infidelity is that men are more likely than women to engage in infidelity, as well as have more partners than women. Also, men express more desire to have multiple partners compared to women, more willingly seek extra-pair partners, and are less disapproving of infidelity. Various suggestions have been put forward for the gender differences in the attitudes and expectations surrounding infidelity. Some of the most common suggestions include the social acceptance of infidelity among men, the cultural presentation of women as sex objects, male vulnerability to seeking power, conquest, and dominance through sex, and the historical and cultural depiction of men as success objects, thereby placing more importance on working and providing as opposed to emotion work in the relationship or union. The evolutionary theory presents greater instinctual pressures on men to desire multiple sexual partners through their quantity-based mating strategy. The gender gap in attitudes and behaviors surrounding infidelity is gradually shrinking with the younger population, especially considering the fact that younger women report greater rates of infidelity among younger cohorts than men. The relationship between age and infidelity differs by gender, with men who report engaging in infidelity being significantly older than women who do. The number of sexual partners declines with age, which could be used to explain more permissive sexual values in recent cohorts or the biological effects of age. An active premarital sexual history is a significant predictor of engaging in extra-pair and extramarital relationships. A reflection of, the spots of a leopard do not fade. Women who have not engaged in premarital sex report reduced likelihoods of infidelity in marriage. The accepting attitudes of premarital sex implies that it has different implications towards infidelity and related attitudes. Stronger sexual interests and the presence of testosterone in men predicts more permissive attitudes towards infidelity and actual rates of engaging in infidelity. Sexual fantasies with someone other than the primary partner are normal, as reported by 78% and 98% of women and men respectively. However, women who engage in extra-pair relationships have way more sexual fantasies with someone other than their main or primary partner. Men are more likely to characterize sex outside their union more sexually than women. Men endorse more sexual reasons for engaging in infidelity, while women are more likely to embrace intimacy reasons and less likely to map out infidelity as purely sexual. However, up to 74% of cheating men in marital therapy report some form of emotional involvement with their extra-pair relationship. Some of the reasons reported for engaging in infidelity include curiosity and desire for variety, sensation-seeking, experiential drives, reassurance of desirability or worth, to have fun, a need for conquest and power, combating a sense of inadequacy, escapism, exploring sexual orientation, or difficulties with intimacy in their primary relationship. Women are more likely than men to report never having the desire, interest, or opportunity to engage in infidelity. Women in heterosexual relationships are exposed to being victims of infidelity considering everything that has been discussed about men thus far, as well as considering the fact that men who engage in infidelity underestimate the negative emotions suffered by the victim. People who emphasize independence from their spouse, feel insecure about their relationships, or endorse the need of variety in the relationship, especially in terms of intimacy, report greater likelihoods of infidelity. In contrast, those with high emotional investment in relationships, believe that sex should be restricted to loving relationships, and securely depend on their spouse emotionally, have lower rates of engaging in infidelity. Avoidant individuals emphasize autonomy and freedom as reasons for their infidelity, while the anxious report self-esteem as the source of their infidelity. Individuals with low self-esteem present greater likelihoods of being in a relationship with those who report reduced commitment. Some studies suggest that those who seek extra-pair relationships do so for excitement, or to enhance their self-esteem. Both married men and women cheat to boost their self-esteem, among other reasons. While trying to justify infidelity, people always invoke their self-concepts to minimize their blameworthiness. Women who learn about their partner's infidelity often adopt the avoidant coping style, a phenomenon that especially holds true for women with low self-esteem who fail to confront their partners after finding them cheating. Women interpret their partner's cheating behaviors positively when infidelity could taint their self-image or when the union is threatened. Men who score higher alienation scores, that is, the sense of social isolation, normlessness, meaninglessness, and powerlessness actually cheat a lot. Men who seek intimate relationships through casual hookups report higher levels of alienation. Some studies suggest that infidelity could be used by some people as an outlet for low self-esteem that is accompanied by depression. The relationship between low self-esteem and infidelity could be moderated by substance abuse, especially alcohol consumption, or character disorders. Particularly, narcissistic men are more likely to engage in infidelity. Men and women who have needed the services of mental health professionals at some point in their lives are more likely to have extra-pair relationships. More accepting attitudes towards extra-pair relationships predict engaging in infidelity, even though 10% of people who believe infidelity is wrong still end up engaging in it. Apart from attitudes towards infidelity, Those reporting that sexual needs could justify infidelity report increased likelihoods of engaging in it. Additional personal factors associated with infidelity include education, with those with a higher education reporting a greater history of extra-pair relationships, while others find greater infidelity histories for those who have lesser than high school qualifications, especially for African American men. The relationship between education and infidelity is moderated by factors such as those with a history of divorce, while others suggest the relationship only exists among older cohorts. Those who do not endorse any religion report greater likelihood of engaging in infidelity compared to those who do. The frequency of attending services, especially regularly, and self-reported religiosity negatively relate to permissive infidelity attitudes and actual history of having multiple partners. The relationship between religiosity and infidelity is moderated by some additional factors. For instance, the Religion Infidelity Association is affected by marital happiness, with those who are happy and religious reporting a reduced likelihood of engaging in infidelity. The relationship is almost non-existent for those who report moderate to no signs of happiness. In terms of political ideologies, conservatives report reduced likelihoods of infidelity compared to liberals. A point to note is that when picking extremes, that is, extremely conservative or extremely liberal, then, those whose political ideals could be explained as moderate report the least likelihood of engaging in infidelity compared to those on the extremes. African Americans and Hispanics report the greatest likelihoods of engaging in extra-pair relationships compared to white people, with African Americans holding more permissive attitudes towards infidelity. The relationship between racial minorities and infidelity is explained by some popular predisposing forces, including imbalanced gender ratios that see more black women than men, economic disadvantages, racism, and slavery. There are people who are thought of having a reduced likelihood of engaging in extra-pair relationships, but they end up cheating anyway. The elevated risk of infidelity after pairing up with someone who has a statistically high likelihood of cheating can either be brief or extended. Most women who engage in infidelity had actually thought about it for an average of about a month, although the period ranges for weeks or years. 55% of women who engage in infidelity have at least talked to someone before they went on with it. Most of these individuals are unfaithful in their primary relationships, to say the least. If you found out that she cheated, or has been cheating on you, be rest assured that there's a 50-50 chance that one of her friends know about it. Discussions about infidelity are mostly had with the potential extra-pair partner. Most of them revolve around issues in the primary relationship, and they result in distance from the primary spouse. Some of the predisposing factors associated with cheating, such as sexual dissatisfaction, form part of approach factors, including perceptions of the current state of the relationship or perceived readiness for an affair. The whole concept of secrecy when it comes to cheating contributes to more attraction to the extra-pair partner. While predisposing factors examine the likelihood of an individual engaging in infidelity, such as their attitudes towards it, approach factors examine an individual's evaluation of whether they should cheat, which includes an assessment of the potential benefits and consequences. For instance, men are less likely to experience the risks and consequences of cheating, thereby having little deterrence to cheating.